Okay, this is my suspension and differential setup. And in this video, I'm basically gonna assemble or clean everything up, put it together, and put it on the silver car. I don't know if that's gonna be before the end of the video or what, but there's things I still need to get, and yeah, I'll see how long this is gonna be. But here's I guess a rundown of everything and the audio. Okay, so I'm just gonna go a rundown of everything that I have. I already did this on Instagram, but since I'm making a YouTube video, I might as well just keep the people updated. So, up top, we have a V8 subframe. This one's actually a V8 subframe. I've heard that you could get them from 129s, R129s. They're the same, but it has this tag on it. I was gonna keep it, but then I was like, you know what, I don't need it. But it even says the diff, and if it has ABS, so it's a 2.24 that came on these things, or the V8s, sorry, that were in America, that weren't the 500. So the 400E or E420 had a 2.24, and I have one, but I'm not going to use it. I'm using this diff. This diff is from a 140 diesel. It's a, I'm not sure if you can see that, 2.82 final drive. I'm going to be using this. It's better than 2.65 or whatever it has right now. I have a 3.07 ASD, but I'm going to see how this one works for now. And clearly I got to change the back cover. Everything that's going to get attached to it. Here's all the control arms that are adjustable. Here are these bushings go inside of the knuckle. So I just got an OEM replacement for it. I'm not sure if anyone makes other spherical, I think they're called spherical bushings. Yeah, this isn't normal, like the, whatever. Anyways, continuing on, these are StrongFlex subframe mounts. I just got new, these are control arms. These are the one control arm that can't be adjustable because they hold a spring. So I just bought some off eBay. I'm gonna change the bushings to polyurethane ones. These are, what are these? I don't know. Yeah, they're brakes, so they're brake shoes. I also have a whole entire rear sub-assembly, but, no, sorry. I have a whole entire rear knuckle assembly, but that's down at Andrew's right now. I was pressing, gotta pull the, I guess, wheel bearings out. I was trying to press out the bearings, so these are the bearings for them. And all the hardware, new, which is nice. Clearly, I don't think I use this. I don't know. Maybe the axle is that size, who knows. I just hope these are the right bearings for it, because I remember the wagons have different ones than the sedans. So yeah, so the bearings, subframes, control arms, these are all the bolts for the control arms, all new hardware for that. Down here, I got rear springs, H&Rs, fronts are H&Rs as well. Bilstein, I believe those are B8 shocks, could be wrong. I'll look. New front control arms. I bought garage gas stick lower control arm bushings, but they never came, so I just asked for money back. I might get in contact with them again and see if I could reorder them, because they said they might have them in a couple of months, and it's been a couple of months. Or get them from StrongFlex. StrongFlex costs a lot more, but whatever, at least they have them. So tie rod, ends, drag link, and front and rear sway bar. So the rear sway bar is a 20 millimeter sway bar from the E55 W210 chassis. This is from a R129 SL500. This is a 30 millimeter, 30 outer and 18 inner. But yeah, that's the whole suspension setup. And those diffs just swap in because they're 210, so they should swap in and use the same axles, because I don't believe the 210 ASC and the 210 millimeter diff, the regular one, have different half shafts or length half shafts, so should be good. But yeah, so I'll start by getting this cleaned up and painted, and go from there. Welcome back, people. Anyways, in this episode, I am going to be refurbishing this subframe. It's a V8 subframe from 124. I'm sticking it inside my silver station wagon, and I have a bunch of other suspension components to go along with it. But first things first, I got to knock out these subframe bushings, as well as take all the other little components off, like these little bushings as well, exhaust hanger, sand everything down, degrease it, and get it ready for painting. So let's begin. Sorry about not having a mic also, because the sound kind of sucks. Is what it is. I'm going to be using these, which is the pulling kit for the lower, like it's like a uni joint on the hub on 124s and 202s and stuff like that. There's like a bearing or bushing inside of the a bushing inside of the knuckle on the rear, the lower rear bushing. I think the control arm that connects, that the spring is attached to, goes to it. But anyways, this is a tool for it, and I'm going to use this tool to try and I'm just going to use the bolt from it and nut to try and pull these out. There was a Miller bushing puller kit for it, but they no longer make it, so you basically have to make your own. I'm going to use some of this metal to make some type of structure that goes over these things, so it'll be like a little one bar on this side, one on this side, and then I'll weld something flat to it and try and pull it up using this bolt. Fortunately, it fits through the rear one, but the front one it doesn't. So I'm just gonna drill this out and hope for the best. And then this bolt will go through it, and I can pull it up, and this one I can pull it down. Never did this before on all my other subframes. I just torched it and knocked them out, but I wanted to see if I could just make a tool for this and be done with it, because I have a few of these 124s, so if I have a tool, they all need to get replaced. All right, so I'm back. Got a bunch of cut discs. I'm just gonna cut along here. I already have one hole that I could use, so cut along here, and then cut back, I guess, on both sides, and then these are gonna be what makes up the legs. Yeah, so I'll get to it. Okay, that's done. Pretty simple, as you can see, a hole with a bridge. It's just gonna go over that. And I'm gonna put this bolt through the bottom, through the top, and screw it on. It should pull it right out. All right, so dealing with the last one, I ended up just ripping it out. As you guys can see, they're well filled. Didn't know that, so yeah, that's fun. But hey, I got the rest of them out. And you get these two out and figure out something with this. I might just get an air chisel. I have one and just knock it out from the inside. But I gotta go to run. I gotta go to run? No, I gotta go to running. Jesus, I gotta go to running? No, I have a run meet to go to, so. Whatever, when I get back. These should be pretty easy to get out. I just gotta mark them, the depth, because I think that has something to do with the way this subframe is assembled. So just figure out what the depth on both of them are and then pull them out with the tool, which is here. And that cuts over that like that. Yep, got everything. All right, cool. That sucks, but it is what it is. Closer to getting it done now. All right, didn't record that as usual, but as you guys can see, I just heated this up on the outside and then just hammered it out and it came right out. So, yay. Tool doesn't work, use fire. All right, got the last two in here, and then I could just sand this thing down and get it ready for paint. So I don't forget, one's 3.4 and one's 5.6. 3.4, 5.6. Measuring distance between here and here, here and here. Driver passenger, so time to knock these things out with that tool. Yeah. All right, she's done, painted up, looking nice and spiffy. So I ended up using a VHC roll and bar chassis, or roll bar and chassis paint in matte. It came out really nice. I primered it and then did about 2 coats, I'll say 3 coats of that on the top and bottom of this thing, and it looks good. Right now, I just have to go ahead and finish everything up. I'm gonna do some, these are all new hardware. They're like zinc plated, but I like the yellow tint to them, and I have something from this chemical company I bought that could fix that. But anyways, back to the subframe. Need to throw the diff bushings in. Here's a part number for that if anyone's thinking about changing them. But yeah, they're 129 part numbers. So I gotta pop these in. Unfortunately, the tool that I got is for a Chrysler, and I'm assuming the Chrysler has a larger hole that goes in the diff because this doesn't work. I ended up just getting a long threaded bolt for it and 4-wash, you know the whole deal. And yeah, just gonna pull them through. I already have the measurements on where they have to go because you gotta measure them before you take them out. And then put the subframe mounts in and put all the arms on and finish up. Ooh, bright light. Finish up these knuckles. So I gotta throw the bearings in them. But first things first, put the bushings in this thing. I got it done. Ended up that one tool, this thing, did end up stretching. I don't know what the rating is on this, but it's trash. So I just went and got some 8.8 bolts. Unfortunately, all of them, they weren't threaded all the way through, so I just got a ton of different sizes and pulled them through. The only issue that I'm thinking, these, they don't stick out as far as those. So if I'm measuring from here, the distance is going to be different. But the difference between the two are similar to what they were before. So I'm thinking that is more or less why they wanted you to take the measurements of it. So the nose of the diff will point in left or right. So as long as they're the same difference, I think that's fine, because this hole in here is pretty massive for the front diff, and moving up or down on a millimeter or two is not going to be that big of a deal. So I'm going to grease these things up, throw them in, and then I need to get the other lower control arms and try and pop those bushings out or press the wheel bearings in. So yay, this is fun. Yep, I had to resort to just burning these things out. Now I got everything else in, so front control arms and subframe bushings in, but the rears, for some reason they just wouldn't budge. This one I got pretty far out. That one was giving me hell, so I just torched it because that center little piece got pushed out, or I pushed it out because it wasn't moving. I think I might be able to still push this all the way out. Who knows? All right, ended up getting this one out, which was actually easier. What I did basically was the same, which is what pushed that center section out. Don't know where I put the bushing. Where did I put the bushing? It's probably right in front of my face. All right, whatever. Here's the other one. So I burnt out the majority of the plastic. Now I'm just gonna make a slit in it and try and like chisel it out, or chisel out the body of it. But it would have been easier if it didn't come out all, or if it came out, but I kind of got it all jacked up, so that's why this one didn't work very well. So yeah, pop these out, throw the bushings in them. Actually, I'm gonna paint them. They just don't look as good as they can. Even, whatever. Yeah, whatever, I'll paint them. I have paint, so why not? All right, so got that one done. I got a little overzealous, cut into the, I guess the control arm itself, but it's no big deal. I need to just clean these up, sand them down, clean them up again, and then paint them. I decided I should just paint them since everything had looked uniformly nice. But onto the diff. Gotta swap the colors on that. Where is it? There it is. So I was contemplating painting this, but I have another one. This whole diff probably should get rebuilt, but I'm just gonna stick it in for now. I don't want to order all these parts, and honestly the car that I pulled that off had very low mileage, so I don't really care. So probably not gonna paint this. I have another one I'll like sandblast and paint later on. This is blasted, but it needs, I don't know what. don't know. I guess I might paint it. Should stop being lazy and just, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna paint it. So I'm painting the silver and throw it on that. And I gotta paint those black and press the bearings in. So I guess I can go and check and see if I have enough primer. If not, go buy some to clean that up. Both these are sanded and cleaned. Gotta paint those. I ended up grabbing the sway bars because I gotta sand those down and paint them too. I think I'm just gonna paint them gray or something. But in the meantime, all the hardware, I have a black chromate from this company called Caswell to make it like dark. But I was thinking like this would be better. Wow, this is hard. Nice. Maybe I'll do a black then, because this is supposed to make it like yellowish. I'll look up the instructions on it. But that's the chemical. Clearly, it's hazardous. This whole thing was smelling weird when I opened this. Try not to breathe it in. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. All right, these were primed with, I guess, VHT primer. And it's one light coat so far of the roll bar. Also sanded these down. This had a lot of rust on it, so I actually sanded it to metal. And so it's rust, but whatever. I'm gonna get some primer that can go over rust. But sanded them down with a flat disc where the rust was, and then the rest in like 180 since that was already out. I'm gonna have to figure out how to hang that to paint it, and it's heavy. So that's gonna be interesting. But this one I could just hang from the same thing I'm hanging those from. And yeah, I just gotta run and get some primer. Probably need another one of those, another one of these, but maybe not. Got 2 more coats to put on that. And this is how everything looks when it's done together. So just have the sway bar bushings to, again, put on the car, but everything else is done. Those 2 need to still get pressed in the, God, not everything's done, but whatever. This stuff's done now. Gotta swap the diff rear housing and put the bearings inside of the knuckle, which there's a bushing here and a bearing here. And then the hub goes on top of that, but I don't think I'm gonna put the hub on until I get the brakes and everything else for the car. There is a coupe and a convertible in a salvage yard down south that I was contemplating getting the axles off of, and I'm not sure about their rear brakes. The rear brakes I know on the TEs are different than the sedans, at least. They're ventilated, so I don't know if the coupes and verts are. They're both 94, so they're M104 cars. So, gonna continue.